Sihle Zikalala has just wrapped up an update on the relief and rescue efforts in the province. Our reporter Mawande Kheswa was there and joins us now. Mawande, very good afternoon to you. Some really important numbers that Premier Sihle Zikalala laid bare today as he gave the nation an update on where KwaZulu-Natal is standing. What were some of the highlights?
Good afternoon. Well, one of the key takeaways is that Premier Sihle Zikalala says that as governments, they've prioritized about 1 billion rand to the relief efforts that are currently underway in the province. However, he says this is inadequate as they need at least 1.9 billion rand to complete the work and tasks that they have set for themselves. The silver lining, however, is the fact that there are various organizations that have come to the fore to try and assist and alleviate pressure where they can. And from what we can see, this private-public partnership seems to be yielding some results, particularly in the way of enabling those who've lost loved ones to have dignified funerals for their loved ones. So in that part, we also know that food aid is one of the areas as well. The Premier also says that when he looks at the expenditure that is currently the expenditure that they've been able to identify, bulk of it is going towards Prasa in terms of rail infrastructure that has been damaged. So there's quite a lot of money that is needed in that front. It looks to be over 900 million rands that is needed to bring about those repairs when it comes to that infrastructure. And the railway system is one that people are heavily reliant on, and there are areas where it is completely cut off. There are people that are still missing, and he says that those who have not found their loved ones, part of those 54, they should not lose hope because their disaster teams are still on the ground. Search and rescue is on the ground, and they're trying to ensure that they get to every corner that needs them to try and ensure that they do find those loved ones that are missing. And those are really some of the key takeaways from the briefing that the Premier held not so long ago.
With all hands on deck, the Premier also spoke about some of the long-term or perhaps the short-term objectives is to ensure that all areas now have electricity, water and access to roads is easier and the pressure on the community is alleviated. Let's talk a little bit about some of those big challenges that still remain when it comes to water and electricity in parts of KwaZulu-Natal.
Those still do exist. However, from a recent update that we got from the Deputy Mayor in the eThekwini Metro, he says that a majority of power in the various areas has been restored. There are substations that if unfortunately caught fire or blew up. There are some that they're trying to repair, but these are going to take quite a bit of time. One of those is the one in Marion Hill, where they say that they expect the repairs to take possibly 6 months because there are quite a number of things that they need to consider. There's an issue of parts as well that are needed. Some may not be readily available as and when they need it. So there are those challenges. And while they are able to repair some and some go back online, there are other breakdowns that take place as a result of either pressure or the floods themselves. Water is also one of the issues. We understand that the city has over 180 water tanks at the moment, and they've tried by all means to disperse them and ensure that every community that needs water has water, but there still are those communities who are saying that they're not necessarily getting the water. So that's also one of the challenges, and also having a temporary measure to ensure that people do get access to water. Some areas do have access to tap water for a few hours in a day, and then it goes offline again, and that's just as a result of the constraint that is being faced by the municipality, by infrastructure within the city itself.
Well, thank you so much. Let's leave it there for now. Newzroom Afrika reporter Mawande Kheswa giving us an update of what came out of the big meeting with KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala a short while ago.